The first legendary fusion of the year 2021 is just around the corner. I want to help you guys be better prepared for that. So I already have a free-to-play fusion plan, and I also have a lot of screenshots of the previous fusions we can use as reference point. But I also have a couple of cautions for you guys so that you don't end up wasting precious resources, and you certainly don't want to end up where you have 90 fragments and you cannot complete this fusion. All that being said, let's jump right in. Before I get started, let me quickly remind you guys that I stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, where we typically have gem giveaways, Dracoins giveaways, Summoner's Glories, gift code giveaways, and I use loyalty points or marble races to do that. On top of that, we also do some stream raiders, so I hope to see you guys there. Now on to the free-to-play fusion plan, starting with a quick overview of the previous ones. So we've had Krila Witch Arm, Drakghoul, Elegais, then we got an epic Bergoth the Malform. I'm not really going to count him in. And now finally we have Iron Brago. So I'm going to use the values of Elegais because they have changed over time. What I've noticed is that they've reduced the possible combinations of events and tournaments you can do to get all the fragments you need. Still, for a free-to-play approach, I'm going to use the most accessible fragments first. So let's start with the Summon Rush using the Elegais as a reference point. Again, we have 330 points, 1,070 points, and then 3,500 points to get all the fragments from this event. This is a lot of shards. This is like 175 ancient shards, because I do believe that is what we are going to have in the next cycle of 2 chance event. So we're going to start most likely with a Summon Rush because we just had a Champion Chase tournament. And if I go back into my videos, we had all Sacred Shards here, and then we had all Void Shards here. So I do believe that is where we are at. Now, I usually don't go all in if it's ancient shards. It's a little bit too much. In fact, I don't even have enough. I barely have enough to get the 10 fragments from the second milestone point. Then for the artifact enhancement events, here's a caution for you guys. They did not make them equal. The first one was 2,600 points to get the first 5 fragments, not even 10. This was 5 fragments at 2,600 points. It used to be only about 1,000 points, but then they made the second one at 1,000 points to get 5 fragments. So this can really hurt. If you spend a lot more silver on the first one, only realizing that you didn't necessarily need it, then you might run out for the second one. But you also don't want to wait for the second one, because what if you actually need those first 5 fragments, right? So this is what I mean by they are changing the values of the milestones on us all the time. Then let's go over the Dungeon Divers event, where I have another screenshot here for you guys. These have remained relatively unchanged for the last couple of fragment fusions, so I'm going to assume that it should be relatively easy to complete. Then we have the Champion Training event. These have gone up in value. I can quickly show you the screenshot here as well, but it used to be that you had more fragments for less milestone points. In fact, it used to be that you had 3 different milestones to get the same amount of fragments, but now what they've done is they've combined 2 of the 5 fragments into 1 and pushed it a little bit further up. Okay, so again, be cautious with this. But so far, I've said that for a free-to-play approach, you need to get literally everything here except the last milestone point of the Summon Rush. And then for the tournaments, they should be relatively the same, but the Champion Chase tournament is most likely going to be after the Summon Rush. It is going to be a 10x event of some kind. I'm also saying here that you got to get the first 2 milestone points. This is the perfect time to hoard some extra fusion champions, anything you haven't grabbed yet, like your Arbiter, your Salve the Drakes, your Vizix. If you can push that back to next week when the Champion Chase tournament is live, that is going to save you a lot of shards, especially if you're already low on shards from the holidays from having used everything. But here's a quick screenshot of that tournament and what it looks like. And this is usually at 1,150 points for the second milestone, the first one being relatively easy. So this is definitely doable. In fact, you see me here finishing in first place, but that was at a time where I had a lot of shards and I could afford to do this. If you do finish in first place, however, you're going to get an extra amount of shards, but I do not factor that in for my free-to-play approach. Then for classic arena takedowns, this is usually pretty easy. It's 180 points, it might be a little bit more. We've seen 260 points lately, but I don't usually assume that I can't do these. I think that with the bots that are still around, you should have no problem doing this, so don't worry too much about that one. Then we had no Fire Knight tournament, but we had an Ice Golem and a Dragon and a Spider tournament, as well as a Champion Training tournament. So just be cautious on how you manage your Champion Training event and the Champion Training tournament. Make sure you keep a little bit of food for both. as I've tried to do my plan with only using one of them. For example, you go all in your champion training tournament so that you don't need to put any effort into the tournament, sorry, so then you have still 100 fragments, sorry. So the ice golem was a little bit unique. We had 2 milestone points in there, almost forcing us to do it. We had a very accessible 500 point milestone, but then we had a little one that was a little bit tougher to do. So again, if you don't like doing the ice golem tournament, but they might force you to do it, you're gonna have to do it because this is a good amount of shards that you can get. Then we only had 5 of them in the dragon tournament, which is typically a tournament that everybody loves doing. So again, we don't know what they're going to do, but just be prepared for everything. Usually you have to do all the different tournaments, whether for the dragon, the ice golem, or the fire knight. We also don't know if there's going to be 4 of them, 3 of them, probably never 2 of them, but still, you never know. So now what can you do to better prepare for all this? So let's go in the game here real quick. Like I said, if you have any other fragment fusions ready to go, save those for the champion chase tournament. You're obviously going to need a good amount of shards. I should have enough ancient shards, but I went all in with my void and my sacred shards not too long ago, so I am a little bit concerned for the champion chase tournament. If you have some extra fusions of, let's say, Broadma that you could do those. If you have some extra fusions of Relic Keeper that you could do, you can do those as well during the champion chase tournament for some extra points. Obviously, you do want to save some food if you have any already in terms of, let's say, chickens or anything of the sort, then great. If you don't, then maybe start working on food right now. You know it's going to start with a champion training event. Maybe it's going to be the tournament, but point is you're going to have to be working on food the entire time. Also, don't forget champion training events or tournaments usually overlap with Dungeon Divers event, and that counts for points as well. You just end up getting a little bit less point in your Dungeon Divers event as you are doing some food. One good thing though is that we do not need potions, so you don't need to start farming potions right now because you're not going to have any rare or epic champions to work on and to fuse, right? So overall, this is a little bit of like, you got to decide if you're going all in or not. You don't want to run into a situation where, like I said in the beginning, you end up getting like 90 fragments and you just cannot finish this fusion. If you do want to finish it, the only thing we've seen is that they're going to put them in the shop. They're pretty expensive. It's like 15 bucks for 5 extra fragments. All right. So guys, that's a quick rundown of what you can do right now. Obviously, if you have some silver saved up, great. I know I'm pretty low on silver. I've been trying a couple different things on my account. This is going to hurt. I don't have a lot of gear ready to go, but I do have a good amount of gems that I can use to generate more silver. Also, if you're about that time where you need your gear cleansing, do it. That's a lot of extra silver just sitting there. So take the time to go through all this, but do it during an artifact enhancement event because you can get a couple more points as you're ranking up pieces here and there to, let's say, 4 or rank 8, maybe even rank 12 if they are really good. And then if they're not good enough, you sell them, get your silver back, get some points, and hopefully you're able to complete the whole thing. All right, guys, so that's going to be it. A quick overview of what you can do to prepare for this fragment fusion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you tune in for the actual plan on Thursday when this goes live. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.